Close.
Okay, all right.
I'm
Thank
willing to
you.
go there.
Yeah.
As long as it runs like the civil engineering work.
Yeah.
For a project, architects are going to be lead.
Mhm. Well, the degree you had, what used to be in the civil engineering school, but then moved it to Yeah.
That's November.
And you want, you still have we're going,
November
What
this
do you
year.
got?
is hoping to-
Well, you got a plan drawing. He brought them all for you or ship them?
really?
They drove.
You're not feeling like
I'll do 5 days and I'll do it. So,
So what did you mean by that? When you sent me that one sentence about the county, they're reviewing it or something?
Every time you get a notice like that from my lawyer, you always ask about
That's
it.
Thursday last week.
What is this mean?
So I just see that finishing the place there.
Yeah, there's one of those sheds in the office.
It's in process.
I
If we let, they tell you 2 hours install time. It took 45 minutes just to sort all the pieces and stuff out. To get, you know,
Yeah.
to all
Yeah, I
the
know.
this one, all
Right.
that.
You're always
2 hours.
You're always underestimating.
On our shop.
Yeah, we'll see how long it was.
Did you send that?
My doctor did say you never want
Yeah, man, one has expansion.
DEP
$200,
authorized to
so.
investigate complaints.
And my doctor, I'm trying to get back
Inspection revealed
doxy.
that the
And
activity
they
of the
won't do it
project
because
is
I
in
have
violation of the rules
I'm trying to
of
know.
DEP and
So
CSI.
they tell me everything's
I
good,
didn't even know this.
but my heart is a little late.
County.
Pounding on my chest.
Said you guys got me.
Well, condominium century.
For that Bobcat.
John Deere used to.
I did.
They call it. Gate.
Didn't you realize that?
That's a company. That's a company. Yeah.
I'm just looking at what's been checked off.
Anyway, they don't make any Then you can find out on the shelf, you know, somewhere. That isn't right. I'm always wrong.
Almost as expensive
You'd have flying, right?
Yeah.
Barely have real life.
You have to
Not
what?
real ID.
Oh,
License.
yeah,
they were
yeah.
part of it.
Yeah, I don't have that.
I do, but.
So, I'm gonna have to sit up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to sit
Yeah,
up.
we don't ship
Right, but they still haven't given you a
I
final
call the
plan.
Huntington Township Planning Commission April meeting to order. First item of business, public comment on the agenda items. Is there any- Not here now? Okay. Moving on, the next item of business is approval of the minutes of the March 24th meeting, which you should have copies of. Does anybody have any additions, corrections to the minutes as presented? No. Not hearing any, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the March 24th meeting for record.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Motion by Jeff, second by Carl. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
So moved. Moving on. I guess next, Gus, are you ready for the zoning officer's report?
Oh, yeah.
Are you waiting for the?
It's not coming up. Let me get my glasses on here. I issued a permit to, on March 27th, 95 Tracy Drive for 20 rooftop solar panels. On the 29th of March, a waiver letter to David Pittman, 7129 Carlisle Pike. He's replacing his gutters. 327 is a building permit, 25, actually it's 2444. It's for 35 solar panels. And it's for McMaster, 1266. I can't read my scribble. But it was, that was, I believe, for Old Harrisburg Road.
Gus, do you wanna see this? Since you don't have it up there,
Yeah, that would be.
and then give it back to me.
Then I did on the 8th of April, thank you. 8th of April, I did received a conditional use application from Carl Leach at 821 South Ridge Road for a conditional use hearing, which is scheduled for May the 8th. And after that, we did an occupancy permit for Darren Allman at 5535 Old Harrisburg Road. He replaced the front porch, which was 16 by 24. On the 8th of April, LCDM building permit number 25-015. This is for 255 White Church Road. They're proposing to put an office addition onto the building that already exists there, 50 feet by 50 feet. Brian Stump, building permit number 25-016, 2301 Cranberry Road. He's building a 15-foot by 30-foot goat shed. Ken Rudolph at on 4/15 of 25, building permit 25-017. He's removing a single wide mobile home and installing a double wide. Building permit 25-018, Shane Ryan at 45 Wendy Drive, 20 rooftop solar panels. Building permit 25-019, Edwin Bulldosser at 122 Tammy Drive. This is a brand new house, he just bought it. He's putting on a deck on the rear of the house, 16 by 24 feet. Keith Serzullo, 1795 Cranberry Road. He's building a 40 by 80 foot pole barn. And building permit number BP 24-037, an occupancy permit to Garment Homes for a 2-story single-family home at 114 Tammy Drive. That's a final inspection, and it's done. That's everything there.
What time is the conditional use hearing?
7 o'clock.
So it's the beginning of the
beginning
supervisor's
of ours,
meeting?
right.
Okay.
And the On here, I have a couple of notes. The electronic drop-off will be May 17th at 10 to 2 o'clock here at our township. I got everybody that's present, and that's it for me.
Okay. I guess, Scott, your
Yeah.
engineer's report?
Greenbrier Road, there's no change since last month. It's still open and they're working on site restoration. Myerstown Road was bid and contractor was selected, Lobar Site Development. So the next step is scheduling a pre-construction meeting and then construction can begin June 1st. Saldo update, nothing new. Everything has been delivered to Todd, the solicitor, for his review and given to the Board of Supervisors. Plan reviews, JVI conditional approval was obtained by the supervisors. 4J Farm, it was conditionally approved by the Planning Commission and it's up on the agenda for the next supervisors meeting. And EB Clearing, first review was done. We just got comments today from the county. And the PennDOT HOP and NPDS permits are in process.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Next item is old business. Let's try the JVI report. Do you have anything?
Well, the JVI, I have a plan here that they dropped off for me. I mean, it's part of the overall, it's a plan for a 17-foot-long retaining wall. Yeah, and have any of you driven past it in the last week? They've leveled off the building site, and the drop off at the edge of the driveway as you drive past, that's where the retaining wall is going. And it'll go from a couple of feet to the height 13 foot. That's to hold that driveway back. That's all I have at this time. I'm waiting for them to walk in with the land development plan and the highway occupancy permit. That those have been approved, and so has the NPDS. So I'm waiting for them to walk in with it. That's all that I have on that.
And don't they have a time extension on the plan
They have a time extension till May.
till May?
Why are you shaking your head?
It was conditionally approved at the last supervisors meeting.
Yeah. What were the conditions? The one request I have, if something's conditionally approved, the supervisors can make up their own mind. But when we conditionally approve something, I'd like to see in the notes what the conditions were.
In my last review,
Go ahead.
in my last review letter, I listed all the conditions that I recommended,
Okay,
and you approved that in your recommendation to the supervisors.
as you outlined in your letter, we should at least say that.
Which
Okay,
includes the HOP permit, which was issued, the NPDS permit, which was issued, financial security, we're waiting on, and there was one note that they had to change on the plan, and there was a fifth thing, I don't remember exactly what it is.
You've been out at the site
I was out at the site 3 weeks ago, it was the last time I was out there.
and everything to that point was okay?
but they're still not done with all the conditions.
Correct.
At least one that you said, and the one you may not remember whether it's done or
Well,
not.
that and posting security.
That's the one, yeah,
That's one of the only ones that's holding up.
okay. So they don't need an extension. It was approved.
It's already approved.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay, so the extension's moot, okay.
All right.
Why did they come back with a request for, something to do with the retaining wall? Why wasn't that in the, just because it's
Not a
new?
request, it was just a
Or was it?
report that that's the next project. they're
It's,
gonna-
it's just the geotechnical structural drawings for the design of the wall. It's typically not included in the land development plan.
But we don't have the land. Well, I guess it was conditionally approved last time. Okay, got it. All right, thank you.
All right, there was no action or anything needed from
No.
us on that, so
No.
this, the next item is a report on LCDM.
Well, CDM sent me, and I got it today. It's they're in process right now for the building permit for the office, 50 by 50. I'm gonna pass this around. You look at it, it's got a nice picture of the building with the office built on it. And they're in the process, they got caught in sort of a catch-22 because the only occupancy permit that was issued for that building was for a storage building. That's all it ever was.
Right.
And so now, they've applied for a permit as change of use that's gonna take it to a manufacturing facility. And of course, the offices are separate.
Right.
So that is what they're submitting to the inspection agency that's insisting that they have an occupancy permit for what is there or proposed. And so look it over. It shows you the layout of the building. They do have their septic system in, and they have water into the building so they can use the restrooms. But until I get the okay from the inspector that their stuff meets all the requirements, and I can issue the building permit. They have no building permit yet.
So I'm still confused. So they're looking for an occupancy permit for the building that's there and a building permit for the one they want to build. Is that accurate?
Exactly. They need to have an occupancy permit for what they.
What it
bought,
is, yeah,
what
I
they
understand,
purchased.
because it was a storage building, and
Right.
it isn't anymore. Probably never was. Okay.
That's everything on LCDM.
Okay.
If you haven't been out, if anybody hasn't driven out by there, it's a big change from what it looked like
They
before.
cleaned it all up.
They
It
really
was
did.
nice.
They really did.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything for us to do then?
And at this point,
This is the other side. Is this, is
You're
the
waiting
new
for
part
an inspection,
towards the
I
road
guess.
or the other side of the building?
it's on the end. If you
Yeah.
pull in the
Yeah.
driveway and turn toward the building.
Okay,
It's
okay,
parallel to the street.
okay, okay.
Yeah. Did they expedite the second building? I thought it was gonna be a while before they were doing the second.
Well, there's a projection of a future building of about the same size as
One that's there.
the one that's there. That'll be after the office. So
Okay.
that is someplace
That's
in
the
the
later.
future.
All right.
That'll be phase, whatever.
Okay.
It's phase 3.
You can look through that. There's no action.
No action.
No action on that.
Okay, but that's it for that.
Yep.
Next item on the old business is 4J Farm LLC.
And you have the paperwork there in front of you. We conditionally approved it. That's the planning module, and we need to sign off on it.
As far as all the conditions met on
Yeah, there weren't any conditions, it was just a simple single lot subdivision.
Why does it say it was conditionally approved?
Well, we were just waiting for them to do the
sewage module.
sewage module, yeah, I guess they had to redo it or something, I mean, it was originally.
They didn't have the
something
second site.
changed.
Yeah, they didn't have the second.
Yeah, something changed and they had to redo the
They
permit.
forgot to do the second site.
Okay.
That's why it wasn't signed last time.
So we can act on that and sign that. I got, guess I'll have to have a motion from the board to allow me to sign this DEP sewage module as chairman. Does anybody want to make a motion to allow signature
I'll make that.
on the DEP sewage module?
So Tom and Ron.
Right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Okay. Is that, I'm not sure who's back here for this. Are you free?
No, Ken Scott isn't here.
No. Well, I'll wait to sign this till at the end.
All right.
Okay. Is there any other old business? we have to take care of?
Nope, that's it.
Moving on to new business. Plan for EB clearing.
Mr. Wilson. He's not here. Okay.
What we have is the county comments
Yeah,
and the letter from the Soil Conservation District.
yeah. And you have Scott's comments.
Let's see. I don't know Scott's comments.
I don't have anything.
They were in his report last month. We didn't have any visible on that, did you?
I can check.
Yeah, you should.
We need to go.
Okay, I feel like I'm at a bit of a disadvantage having missed the last meeting on this, but I'm confused by what's going on here. Because we have a compliance notice for EV that's showing some issues.
That's just the first draft comment letter from the Conservation District. Everyone gets one. It's not a denial, it's just incomplete notice. They have some more things that they have to submit for review.
Okay. I agree it's not a denial, but it's, I mean, everybody doesn't get the same letter because they have some issues. They have specific issues to them around infiltration and the like. So what What are we being asked to do
Just
now?
acknowledge that they dropped it off and there's work to be done. We need comments from everybody. You can't approve it, not even conditionally.
Well, I think the point of submitting it to the board is so that you have a chance to look at it.
Okay,
So that when we ask you to act on it next time, it's not brand new.
okay, fair enough.
It's just that the engineer's not here to explain to you or answer any questions. But if you have any questions, I'll do my best to explain as well as I can on his behalf.
Okay, first question I have, was this as a result of a complaint?
No. This is a different parcel.
This parcel is on Old Harrisburg Road, right? And right up the street from the storage shed.
I know where it's at.
Oh, okay.
Right across from Sunset Lane.
Rundown house to the left, correct?
No, the house
That's
was
useful
used up.
information.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Completely out.
yeah, yeah.
Well, there's a little shed on
It's
it.
like, quick.
On the corner, on the road
Yeah.
edge of the corner, there's a shed.
Yeah, the house beside it is,
It's on the next lot.
yeah.
It's just real close to the property line.
It's right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
but it's no good. Okay,
Okay, now I understand.
Whatever it's in it.
The intent of the plan is to prepare a site for them to store and sell mulch. That they have a place to store it and then load it, sort of like a retail type
Retail.
of sales.
Well, isn't that what they're doing now
They're
on
going down.
White Junior?
Well, I guess they're making it there and they don't have enough room to store it all and to have sales at the same time.
And they process back.
Also, the point of this is for some temporary storage for a retail sale.
And these pictures that were in the report are from that Old Harrisburg location, accurate?
No, they're from the other
No,
one.
No, those are
they're
from
the other side.
I haven't seen that.
They're from the
that
original place.
That's what they sent.
Well, it has the address of the original place, so I'm back to being confused.
Is that?
No, that's the 346
So that's the.
White Church Road.
This is the original site.
That is the different site, that is the.
That's a different site.
That is not the same as the land development plan.
Yeah, this is the new spot, and this is the old place.
They're two issues, they're two separate issues on two separate properties.
Okay, what are we addressing right now?
The land development plan for the new property.
Okay. All right, because I want to come back and address this other one as well, but okay, that's fine, let's address. So, the point of the new property, I'll call it, is for us to be informed tonight, but take no action.
Yeah, and to raise any questions or issues you might have so that the applicant has a chance to address those.
Okay.
And none of these notes pertain to this.
No, the inspection's a
The
different property.
inspection is different.
All right, all right, all right.
Now, the county's comments and my comments and the Conservation District comments, they all do apply to this.
Oh, they apply to this.
So the only one that doesn't is the.
But not the 102 inspection report.
Correct.
Okay, I'm gonna set that aside for now. All right,
Same client, different project.
yeah.
Correct.
Excuse me. Is there a property address or a parcel number for the new property?
Yeah, it's 6745
Yep.
Old Harrisburg Road. 6745 Old Harrisburg.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's on the land development.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Okay. Set that aside. Next time.
Yeah, we can- Everybody have a copy of it, I guess we can take that,
Comments too.
take that all old study.
Yeah.
I submitted it last month.
Could you, to the board of supervisors or here?
To the township.
Okay, can you send me?
Yeah, can you send those, Roxy?
Yes, and then I'll send them to
Yeah, I
everybody.
see.
This, Gus, has this EB preliminary final plan development plan been formally submitted? It's formal.
No, that's the first presentation we've had of it.
It has been formally submitted to
So
the
we need a
township.
table.
I think this is.
I'm sorry?
We need a table tonight.
This is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
This is over with the plan.
Mhm. This is Old Harrisburg Road. Correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Old Harrisburg Road
That is
and Route
correct.
15.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, and you have comments, but we don't know what they are.
Yeah, it's in the letter. It's here.
You have the letter.
Mm-hmm. I have the
I'm
letter
sorry, I don't have
someplace.
it.
All right, are there a lot of comment, I mean, can you read
3
some comments?
pages of them.
There's
3
several-
pages of comments.
there's
Okay.
several comments.
Well, it's not helpful if we don't have those, to comment on your comments. Okay. Well, Roxanne
Everybody
sent
has
those
a-
around.
Everybody has a copy of that. Take till the next meeting, just review it, look at it, and come back. If you have any questions, we can go over it then. But at this point in time, I'll entertain a motion to table the
I'll make that motion.
preliminary final land development plan for EV clearing on old 6745 Old Harrisburg Road.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Ron, second by Tom, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So moved.
Who was the second?
I was. Oh.
Any other new business?
Well, I propose we discuss this 102 inspection report that was in front of us when we sat down with them.
That pertains to the
Other
other
property.
side of EV.
But isn't that falling under the county, not us?
It's an informational letter to let you know
Right,
what they found
right.
on their
We
inspection.
don't do anything with
There's
it.
no act, it's not action.
All right, but there were complaints made to the township. Is this a result of the complaints made to the township?
That is.
And then further
It's in
made to other?
conjunction. It's in conjunction with.
Okay.
yes.
All right, so, we need to understand it.
Is there any, do the owners of property have any actionable steps they're gonna take to correct post-construction stormwater?
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
The conservation district was handling that. They informed them of what they need to do.
Okay.
Are you involved in this? Other than
No.
being, are you informed of it?
I'm informed, but I'm not involved in it. Correct.
And that's all recorded.
Yes.
It's primarily all handled by the county, right? And
The
the conservation district,
Yes.
Do you have any comments about it?
No, I don't. It seems to be in order. Their plan seems to be sufficient. The conservation district is handling it. And I agree with their measures.
Okay, but whose plan? You said their plan is sufficient. Whose plan?
Yes, the owners,
Oh.
owner's plan is with the conservation district.
Okay, I don't see an owner's plan here in front of us. I just see the complaints of the county, or the conservation district.
Right, right. The plan was submitted 7 or 8 years ago that wasn't fully implemented.
Yeah,
That's why
okay,
there's the issue.
okay,
They tried to terminate the plan without completing the plan requirements.
okay,
But the plan was approved by the conservation district 8 or 10 years ago.
okay. And now they're finding deficiencies.
Right, because they tried to close the permit and the
It
permit
wasn't
can't
done.
be closed because they're not done.
They're not finished.
Right.
So they can't
So now,
issue them.
so now the conservation district is telling them, hey, you gotta finish this, your time's up.
Would the conservation district have had knowledge of that without a complaint?
Well,
I don't know if her visit to the site was a result of the complaint or as a result of their request for termination. I don't know what prompted it. It was one of the two. Could have been both.
Well, they do a periodic inspection too, don't they? Excuse me?
Yes.
They do a periodic inspection to see that things
Yes, but
are working the way they're supposed to.
right, they go to the hot spots.
Okay.
They don't go to the same, different sites at the same interval.
Yeah.
So they probably weren't there for several years.
That's how I'm reading it.
But when they want to close the permit out, they're subject to the final inspection.
Right.
Yeah, Scott, this looks like this permit was renewed or at least extended to 2029.
Yes.
So another 4-year extension.
Yeah, they had to. The permit is always extended for that long. You can't just extend the permit for 6 months or a year.
Yeah,
It's
right.
extended for the whole 5 years.
Correct. Okay.
So,
There's no action on that, it's nothing for us, but it's an information.
Well, and I think we and the Board of Supervisors need to be kept apprised, given that there's one of our, there's a complaint in this township, right, regarding this site. So this isn't just forget about it,
right.
and I'm not saying you did. But for us, this isn't just forget about, I know there's no action. Okay.
But the county's doing their due diligence.
It
and
appears,
letting us
it
know.
appears they are, yeah, and it's their role, that's correct, that's
That's
correct.
It's
Yeah.
a jurisdiction.
Yep. Okay. Well, I'd request that you just keep apprised yourself and keep us apprised for those reasons. Thank you.
Scott, I have a question. These dates that are on this inspection report, the permit issuance date, 2/10/25. What permit?
That was the reissued permit.
The renewal. That's, okay. And then it's, goes till 29.
Yes.
Any other new business?
Question, when Jeff King indicated the county is doing their due diligence, are you referring to the conservation district?
Conservation.
Oh, okay.
They're letting us know
Yeah.
what is going on with them concerning this permit.
Okay, thank you.
And they're
And thank you
required
for
to.
keeping up with it.
Pardon me?
They're required to.
There, yeah.
They're the, they're the
Yeah.
enforcement agency.
Okay.
Do they give them a time frame to complete it?
Well, follow-up inspection is occurring July 1st, so
Correct.
that's I'd call that a time frame.
But
Correct.
they have to, supposed to have it done by then?
They're encouraging them to have it completed, yes.
Okay,
Because there's lots of balls hanging out there, they need to
right.
finish up.
If they don't get it completed, eventually you can get fined and everything else.
Right.
Yeah, they say they'll initiate enforcement action. I'd say that's an action item.
I think it was sent to Ron Evers. There's carbon copy of Ron Evers at central office. South Central. Yeah. If you pull Ron Evers down, then you're gonna be paying money, and they are. Usually. So, all right, no other new business on the agenda. We got public comments next, but, yes.
He said, okay, I have to get away from the mic, it picks up a lot. At last month's planning commission meeting, it included a discussion about that electronic recycling event to be held here on May 17th. And planning commission member Marlon Enzer brought up that the Bermudian Springs School District had 12 to 14 TVs. And Mr. Enzer asked Mr. Vindenwalls if they could bring them to the recycling event. I have questions for Mr. Enzer. As a member of the Planning Commission, what is your official capacity at the Bermudian Springs School District?
Facility maintenance
Facilities maintenance?
and the wastewater and drinking water systems operator.
So that's your official title?
Yes.
Okay. So under what school district authorization did you have to make the request? And when was the authorization given to you?
There was no authorization request.
So, as an official of the school district, are you familiar with the waste hauling contract that the school district is under?
The waste hauling contract?
Correct.
Are you what waste are you talking? You talking
They have a waste hauling contract.
Yes, they do.
Okay, are you familiar with it?
No.
So what was your intent in bringing it up, that you're an employee and so is Gus, so you negotiated and Gus had given you permission and said, yeah, bring those TVs down. So I'm trying to find out, because as Huntington Township has a contract with Waste Management, and through a right to know request, I got a copy of what the school district, they also have Waste Management. These are two different, completely different contracts. And to, for lack of a better word, commingle this, these could be breaching contract provisions. So if you're not familiar with those contract provisions, why would you bring that up? And
Because the school district has to pay to get rid of electronic devices. We have to pay to take them to a recycling place, pay for each individual unit. And if our township was offering, Union Springs is in the township.
Right.
If the township is offering electronic take back, why can't I ask the question to save taxpayers money from the school district hauling them somewhere else?
Because you indicated you had no authorization to do that. That's the big issue here. And as a resident, when the township has a contract, okay? When they have a contract, they have to abide by those provisions. And I've been in contact with the business manager who's in charge of that. He had told me the electronics are actually traded in. So that's why I'm concerned that you as a planning commission member are here to represent the residents, not the school district. So you're kind of commingling business, and I want to know why. As a resident, if you have no authorization from the school district, how could you come in here and use your authority here to bring that up and recycle something from the school district? And I realize the taxpayers pay no matter whether it's school district or here, but it's commingling business. And I'm sure if the school district knew, they may get upset about that. I mean, you know nothing about the contract or the provisions. I have a copy of the contract. I've emailed Mr. Priat, is that the business manager?
You spoke with him, you should know how it's pronounced.
I emailed him, I got everything in writing.
Okay.
And that's what I'm concerned about.
There was no ill intent meant by this, so.
No, but it appears it's the good old boy club where you're using your appointment as a planning commission member to also kind of make yourself look good to the school district in getting rid of those televisions. That's the way it looks to me. I'm from Philadelphia, I know all the little ins and outs of what officials do. But I was upset because there's provisions of contracts that could be broken. It could be a breach of the contract from Huntington Township and the district. And you won't get in trouble. It'll be the administrator who gets in trouble. So that's all I have to say.
Is there any other public comments?
Did you look at the Cronister plan at all?
Not yet.
What plan?
The Cronister plan, is there
Not
any,
yet.
there's nothing to discuss here, or?
Not yet.
It's not on the agenda.
Have you submitted it?
Yeah, there's a plan in the office, but it's just one copy.
Okay.
Are you the engineer?
What's that?
Are you the engineer?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
There's
See me after the meeting.
Yeah, there's so many items that you have to submit, so they can be distributed for review.
Okay.
And it has to go to the county for their review as well. There's a multiple step process.
Yeah, no, I understand that. Okay, I wasn't sure what your,
Mhm.
Yeah, I didn't even know that the plan existed, so, there's multiple steps that you have to
yeah,
go.
apparently there was a plan done some years ago on the site,
Right.
and I didn't know if it had to go through that normal process or.
Oh, yeah.
Sir, could I have your name?
Clark Cromer,
Spell your last name.
Craumer.
And you're with,
Clark P. Cromer.
okay.
Get all the submittal together, we'll go from the next one. Is there any other public comments?
Just a comment from our DEF part, my GIS division. I know they've reached out to somebody here at Gus or maybe the roadmaster, I'm not sure, about updating the master street index.
The what?
Updating the master street index list the county maintains. They asked me to remind everybody that they're looking for that to be updated so that they have that's the list that feeds into the 911 center. So,
Okay.
the sooner they can get that updated, the better. It also feeds into one of the things that Scott and I have to sit down with and discuss. The saldo afterwards about the street classification component that would go in there. But that's the part they're really interested to make sure they're doing this countywide, so every municipality, they need that information back and updated as soon as they can so that that information is correct in the new system.
Andy, who needs this?
It's my
Your-
office.
Okay,
is leading
okay.
with that. We're working some with the 911 center.
Okay.
Any other public comments? Is there anything from the board? Not hearing any other, nothing else, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make it.
Second. Okay, motion's been made by Tom, seconded by Kyle. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Well, the next meeting, before we leave, the next meeting is the 19th of May.
It's 1 week early.
And is that,
And that's reorganization
Yeah.
meeting.
whose term's up?
Hmm?
Whose term is up?
Yours.
Mine.
No. Don't let that go to you.
I could look back.
19th, yeah.